What's popular YouTube? Another day, another demo. 2 milestones today. Channel sub 75K. Thank you so much, everyone. And the other one, first Coach Lau to 10K views. That's sick, man. That's really sick. You know, I think around 2018, I was looking at my channel. I just kind of ditched YouTube. I started casting a lot. And since I've had this break, it's been really cool to kind of earn my way back, relearn how to make videos, get to love them, get the channel alive. And I think, someone might come to my channel and be like, oh shit, Launder's channel, it died. But to me, this looks like growth. Like, this looks incredible to me. For first like 20 days or something, like 500-600 views, and then getting to a point that I don't even know where these views are coming from, and reading comments of people coming from other channels. I mean, it's really awesome, man. These last two videos, 2,800 views on this last video, 111 comments. I mean, that's crazy. So, it seems like this is compelling, like a compelling video format, and I'm down to keep on going. So I'm making a little spreadsheet here and just organizing, because I've got to fill this up. So if you have players you want to add to this, you give me a comment like this, something like this with, I can find the match or whatever. This is for me to kind of figure out. Something I come into the videos, I just ask a question, and then I kind of have a title. Either is the question still or a statement. It's not meant to be clickbait. It's meant to be like a hypothesis. And then I'm going to try to fill this up, because I've got to record about like 30 extra demos, because I'm going to be traveling a lot actually in the next couple of months. But I mean, I love what we got going on here, so I want to keep the videos coming every day. So yeah, every day I'll do a call to this. If you guys have any players, I'll try to write them down. I've been going back through the videos and looking at your different comments and seeing who you want to be watched. So just let me know there. But yeah, enough for the intro. Today the question is looking at Grimm's worst map. So I don't have anything bad to say about Grimm. We look, since he's joined Liquid, he's played an extraordinary amount of maps in the past 2 months. See, that's all one. That's just this month. You know what I mean? An incredible amount of maps. I mean, he's had to play on a new team versus better teams on and relearn everything basically, and play at a very high level. So I want to be kind to him here, but we don't even really have to be. If we look at his performances right now, he's actually done quite well. I feel like he is fragging. But Liquid right now, they have so much talent on the roster. It's fair to question why they aren't winning everything with this, Stewie is somebody that we should look at as well, because people have been calling into question his performances. I mean, replacing Stewie just seems nuts to me, just from the perspective of like every team he's joined has, improved. He's just wins. His teams just win. His individual stats, if he's having a slump, like, is that a big deal? Like, if you have Grimm, Elige, Twist, and Nafly on your team, is your problem really frags? I just don't believe it. I personally think that EG are the better team because they have a better map pool and they have call better. And I think Liquid, they have more than enough talent to make up for any bad days that Stewie has. And while he might blame himself, I would say it's probably the calling that needs to be better. Because the player, it's not an individual issue, right? I mean, how can you look at these players and say like, this is an individual issue? These are all outrageously talented players. I mean, Stewie is, and when Stewie's at his peak, he's one of the best fragging IGLs. I also want to take a look at Twist here, because his performance is starting to climb back up, and we talked about in that last video. This is Grand Slam period here, where he's at a real high, and he seems to be coming back up. So I want to take a look at Twist and talk about that. And I might do something where I organize this. So we got like, a couple of CT Inferno, T Inferno, So on the weeks that I'm gone, we could just use like a week where we do like all CT Inferno, or 5 perspectives over 5 days from the same match from a T side, for example, and put together the full story of a T half, something like that. I want to keep it one demo, one day, one half, one day, but maybe we can tie it in into kind of longer series through the week. But enough preamble. Let's get into the match. Let's take a look at what I've looked at as Grim's worst map on this team so far. So here is the thing about Inferno. On Inferno, every team in the world thinks they're really good on Inferno. And some teams pick Inferno when they have better maps in the pool. It's it's the map that never gets banned because everyone knows how to play it. It's kind of like the Mirage of professional play, if that makes sense. If Mirage is the most popular map in a PUG game, Inferno is like the most popular map in a professional match. That's kind of leaning towards like Nuke and other maps right now, but Inferno is historically that map, and it's a map that everyone's very good at, is the point. So here's a map that's very important because it's so highly played, but it's also a map that's hard to distinguish yourself from the rest. And in my opinion, Liquid have never been that good on Inferno. They've been able to win important Inferno games, but it's really not like a dominant map, I'd say, for them. And I think EG are one of the only teams in the world who don't have an overrated Inferno. I think Furia have an overrated Inferno, even though they picked it a lot. I think Liquid have an overrated Inferno. I think a lot of that has to do with the B site. Now we're going to see Grim playing A. But we want to take a look and see how comfortable is he on the map. Is he having as much impact as he needs to? Is it like a situation where everyone's going B and he's not able to get kills? What's going on there? So let's go ahead and take a look at Inferno, one of his weaker maps in recent times, and see if we can get some insight into why Grim struggles on this map, if you want to call it that, so far on Liquid, and if they can improve their Inferno. Because if it's a highly played map, you improve it, of course you're going to win more. Bingo bango, ipso facto, you will win more. So and it's going to be the CT half, of course, here. So starting out first, we've got the Astralis setup on the long hauls. I'm not a huge fan of this setup. I mean, if you got Twist by your side, I could see why you'd be comfortable. But when you hold this angle this tight, if they walk peek it, then it's free. If they crouch peek it, it's dangerous because you have to flick down. If they jump across, you could get screwed because you've got a teammate blocking the exit. So it's a bit scary. I'm not sure I love it, but what they get here is the knowledge that it's not halls. Making sure there's no late flanks, everything's good. That's crazy. You know what's nuts about Grim is that he plays on... Oh, this demo's like flickering. What's crazy about Grim is he plays on Nico sensitivity, but man, he does not look like Nico at all. He looks like he's playing on, 2.0 plus sensitivity at 400. He's playing on 1.55. I really think his aim comes down to his comfort. Like, he is unbelievably consistent at moving... at flicking left to right. It's always on this perfect horizontal plane with him, and it's so fast as well. That's really the other thing. It's like Zoking. If you guys have seen on YouTube, go and look at Zoking's like arm movement. Incredibly low sensitivity, but he looks like he has like a 3 sensitivity or higher. I know I should be using eDPI, but I'm an absolute Neanderthal and still talk about sensitivity as if the DPI is 400. Imply that it's 400. So Grim off to the 5-7 here, and it looks like he thinks there might be a lurk, and he's, they hear him moving, but it's a safe called already. Let's go ahead and skip through. That is a lot of crack spotting. Off to the next round. So delayed logs grenades there. As you can see, he takes his head forward. Stewie just Stewie either just walks throws or just throws it for logs. I think he has to walk through it. And you know, this map is all about grenades on CT side. Get as much unconfirmed damage as you can. Soften up your targets. Bring those AKs down a notch. So there's always a lot to learn. Also, 2 sites that are not very easy to retake require a lot of grenades. It seems like he's just trying to... I mean, it'd be great, I think, if he saw someone actually on the wall, but I think he's also hoping that someone just shoots at him a little bit so he can find out if they're in the corner. Let's be quiet yet, and it's just a call to action for him. To rotate though. Gotta love that it's a deagle kill. What happened there? Galil recovered and we're out. "3B off the jump. And a lot of this, it's the calling is going to be based off what you think the other team's going to do versus you, right? Because, you know, Liquid and EG, this is a match, you know, Liquid versus EG on Inferno. I mean, they can play this match with their eyes closed, really. It's a map that's all about, like, how they're going to play against the other team. You can't be wasting grenades. So those first nades went logs. The second nades go back to the steps. And Grim's already rotating off a comm. You can tell he had no info. And wow, he just has to save off this one too. So there's not much that, you know, he doesn't have much personal power in this half so far. He's really just had to rotate over towards A. But EG definitely have a lot of good B stuff, so I'm sure it's coming. Wonder how he plays off Stewie here. Okay, so they hear the flash come out, but now they're actually worried about them aggressing. Grim dumps his bit of utility, and see how much like that one flash got out of them. Just it pulled the smoke, the Molotov as well. And yeah, basically full panic on the B site. Nades in, and this is kind of why you don't really want to play back in the site like this. Do you see how hard that is to deal with, guys? Like, one thing I hate that when I cast, I talk too much about how teams don't play aggressive enough on CT side. And it's like, yeah, it's really risky to push up a lot, but you look what happens. There's no way you can win the round if you can't hold. And I mean, yeah, you know, people are just, you know, people are mollying and nading every single part of the site at this point. It's really hard to sit in the site versus an execute. Like sitting quad without a smoke in your hand it's like I don't know. It's literally like running into a burning building without an oxygen tank. It's just like pointless to see if you can actually tip the scale a little bit in the beginning. It makes things easier. If you can bait out grenades, it makes things easier to hold. But that last round, I would say, is an example of a bad round where, you know, because like at the very minimum, Liquid need to hold their grenades for as long as possible, right? If EG throw one flash over the roof, you don't like panic and hit the red button. You gotta wait and make sure that it's going to be an execute, because that's your last line of defense, is your utility in the site. You're not going to be able to stand oranges or quad and not get mollied out of position. Give yourself a chance to win. But I don't think you should let it get to that point in the first place. I think it's probably better to, most of the time, you know, you don't have to fight at B to get information. I think you just need to pick somewhere to fight, either A or B, or look for a kill, or, you know, have the grenades to do early damage so that you can fight better. So we can see, you know, what Grim's, I guess, tendencies are, what he's going to be drawn towards. And they're back within the sites as well. And we don't know what's happening with EG, but you can see that there's still a chance that EG could execute and Liquid just don't have any clue. Remember, if someone pops up on the A site on the radar, we can see it on this radar as well. So we can actually see it before they even calm the information. So we're not that low on information. There it is, 2 in halls. Doesn't mean anything though, still a minute up. Okay, for smoke goes down. Don't know if Stewie has a smoke as well. I think he might. And EG pull out a bit of utility. Would love to see an execute come this way and see what happens. This time it's oranges, but again, no smoke for himself. And they go through the mall. Oh, that's actually not a bad first kill, but they both die. We see how the exact same sequence happens again. Now we actually have a retake spot with 4 up from EG, but this exact thing is what's hard about retaking B. That exact moment there. So if you look at Inferno, I don't know how to easily show this. Okay, we just look at this part of the mini map here on the B site. If there's no smoke down on CT spawn and there's an op at quad, then even though you rotate from A to B, you'd consider that like a normal size rotate. Well, now because the op can see all the way into CT spawn, it adds time to your retake. It adds time for you to get to con. It adds nades for you to get into position. It adds chances for you to die on the way there. So it's not as simple as the A site is as far from the B site as whatever, 8-9 seconds. It's also what kind of guns do they have in the site? Is CT spawn open? Do they know there's a smoke down? And can they actually get into position in the first place to throw their retake grenades? You know, a lot of the retake grenades they're going to throw are by the hay cart or by the or in con, for example, to molly out different positions. So they're going to call attack pause here. I mean, they can't do the same thing at B. It's just not going to make sense. And I just feel like it's something that a lot of teams are not noticing, that they're losing tons of rounds this way. Risking it on just like the other team not throwing their grenades properly or not trading properly. As important as aim is, you got to give yourself a chance to fight. So I really like this, you know, take aggressive banana control and just jump spot. It's just safe, you know. As long as someone's not sitting at the half wall, which is totally possible, then this is a really great way to play. Like even if you take a little bit of damage or, you know, have a 5% chance of actually getting offed or something, it's totally worth it. And they overstack towards A and they win the round. Because EG don't call them out, they don't fight B. Like we look at that as a victory on the A site, but what really happened was that a rotation was able to come out from B to A. Some a bit more aggressive. It actually could be a save. It's either a save or a force, really. So we could pick up another one, flash behind Stewie for him to peek. He shoots to help grab their attention a bit. And Stewie tucked into this wall so he's not perfectly seen from the bottom of steps. And they're just trying to see if EG do anything fishy. And Grim doesn't seem to know exactly what he wants to do in this spot. So the tricky part is here, Stewie is in a bit more of a precarious spot. And Grim could have rotated early. He seems to still be just making sure it could be anything else. And it looks like Arch is open, so it's actually scary for them to think about the potential for a B hit. And it looks like it is. So of course, the T's, they can go through con or they can come up banana, but I think they'll probably go through con. It's a bit safer for them, yeah. So they go through con over to coffins. And a nice little tactic to defend against that. And the bomb, oh my god, it's safe because Cirque is a god. Cirque had to come out wide for that second shot. And then suddenly, I mean, now it's like EG have such a better chance of winning this than Liquid. Another off shot, and Cirque is having a fantastic game. They can't even find the last guy. Oh my god. All right, there we go. And now 1v1. And Cirque, he's literally about to ace, I feel like. Holy, what a round by Cirque, man. That's crazy. What another great round from EG. They actually found the one gap in the defense there at Arch. And wrapped CT to B. So, there's a spot where Grim could have rotated, but I don't know what the comms were for him. Like, if Stewie was like, stay with me, or if the A-site guys are like, no, it's fine, or, you know, whatever. But you could also argue they still should have won, because they had, like, the read on the setup, they had the man advantage, but Cirque just went off. And that's what's awesome about Counter-Strike, of course. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's also unfortunate. Well, they fluffed all their grenades, so... This is not a round you want to be... this is a round where I think the calling needs to step in, and they need to either... They have claws in mid control, but at this point, if EG go B, it's like... What are they going to do, man? The same thing. They can't even play retake, really. They're probably low. So they haven't executed quite yet. I feel like with the wall smoke here, I'd be worried about getting cleared. Complete silence, as they haven't decided yet. That's... Oh, they've already jumped up oranges. Oh my god, Grim trying to find the next fight, and now he's just in a really rough spot. That is tough, man. EG's approaches are crazy. I can't believe they killed the other rotator before even seeing Grim. Completely out of vision of that boost. Letting the smoke come down as well. But hey, I guess it looks like they still win. No problem. Okay. Well, that's a nice little retake by them. Oops, I guess we'll Grim took a peek, got opt. Oh, let's just go ahead, skip through. Didn't miss much there. Something a bit strange about the demo with some of the flickering, but it's not too bad. Okay. And some of the awkwardness with the grenade usage is, of course, just because like everything's still a little bit fresh. I feel like they're practicing in matches. No, it's just Glocks. So, no need to panic. NAF's on the case. I think it's been a very interesting demo so far. The second flash of the peak. So now Grim should just, yeah, he can just leave completely. Stewie has the op on B. I mean, so he's jumping up half wall as well. So he's pretty safe. And now they can just worry about Arch. Grim kind of, oh, he's not trying to overlap. He's just trying to move in and help out. And oof, a little bit of a rough spray. But they gave him an extra player. However, Ethan just calls out Alicia's position and dinks him twice through the box. So the rotation was good. That was more a failure of like the, pit side setup, really. You can't really blame Liquid for rotating too slow there. They got forward of the site. Grim missed his shot. Alicia got destroyed. They just got pummeled. Alicia ended up getting 2, actually. So that's just a, an inability to frag. But from a strategic perspective, like, that's not so bad. We don't know what we don't know what they did wrong at A, so that's also a bit of a question mark if they did anything wrong besides miss. This time around, last round of the half, we got the fastest B aggression and a faster rotate. So this time, I like that. I mean, I feel like that's symbolic. He kills Tarek before Tarek is ready this time. The rotation's a bit faster. He catches Tarek off, but man, they still got to deal with Ethan, and then they finally do. And that's the end of that demo. That was actually really cool. I feel like I'm kind of on my high horse with like analyzing Inferno, and I'd really like to maybe get some more perspective from the pros. I do like to ask. I always open up to asking questions to pro players to like verify things that I say. I ask I do a lot of interviews and stuff like that to ask questions about that stuff. This one just seems like something that I've just not been able to figure out for a long time with the CT teams on Inferno. And be cool to get some more like numbers analysis on, you know, rounds lost with control versus rounds won without control, or low grenade wins and stuff like that. I mean, this is just my perspective on things. And hey, I'm sure there's some of you are great analysts out there that have your own perspective on, you know, what it means to play Inferno CT side well. I'm just of the mind that, you know, people are generally aren't taking enough control most of the time on their CT side, or maybe not waiting for grenades or ops or whatever it is. So yeah, that's the demo for today. I thought it was a banger. Cool to see that from Grim. And I would like to find a balance between just looking at highlight performances where there's just like a lot of frags, and just cool maps where we can talk about rotations and timings, and like, you know, try to infer what the communication would be, and look at the games from that perspective. So yeah, sweet. If you liked it, leave a like, I guess, comment, and the only other thing would be to hit the follower notification. That I'm sure will help out a lot with just the channel. And yeah, 75K celebration. Hope you loved it. Hope you liked it. Really hope you loved it. See you tomorrow.